Hello and welcome. Night 2 of potentially 3 nights of coverage. It is the AHC quarterfinals here between the Holy Cross Crusaders and your Robert Morris Colonials. Last night, as you see in front of you, some highlights from a 6-3 victory. A chippy game that had just 2 goals after 2 periods, but a 7-goal third period, 5 in favor of the Colonials, lifted them to a Game 1 victory here on the Colonial Sports Network. Hello everyone, thank you for joining us alongside Ian Kist. I'm Vince Russo, and tonight we have Game 2 of 3. The Colonials up 1-0 in the series, and before we get to really talking about tonight's game at hand, let's look back again at some of the highlights from last night's contest. We'll see if Holy Cross can't put a dent in this scoreboard for the first time tonight, though. TJ Moore with a shot, and he scores! And they do. Holy Cross strikes first after the Luke Lynch high sticking penalty. Now they'll try and get it up top to Levens. Levens scans his options. He tries to thread it over, and they'll score. A beautiful feed. Levens to Tanj, and we are tied at 1. Tanj, with his 11th on the season, moves himself up the leaderboard in the top 7 in the nation for power play goals on the season. He does it again. Each team really. And that one trickles past, and just out of nowhere, Spencer Dorwitz pulls the trigger and gets that one over the shoulder. And the junior goaltender, Paul Barafato, has to feel sick as that one just got past him. Dorowitz
reacted a little late there.
Take to the power play unit, trying to tie this one up, but it gets past. And now Brady Ferguson with a breakaway attempt on the backhand. He goes and he scores! Brady Ferguson with a short-handed marker. Just 13 seconds into the Holy Cross power play. Lynch now with a chance in front. Mantenuto picks up the rebound and buries it. 4-1. The Colonials have come out and shocked the Crusaders here with 1, 2, 3 goals in the first 6 minutes and 12 seconds of this third period. Delayed offsides, although they're able to touch it up, get it back into the zone, and they'll continue on the offensive here as Mantenuto puts that one on the front, and they'll score again. Another big rebound, another big goal. Ian, is that the nail in the coffin from Alex Tanj?
I think it is, Vince, because, again, capitalizing on those juicy rebounds, doing something that saved Barafato earlier in the game, and now he's just getting killed by that.
And another goal right off the face-off. Nice passing. Opens up a lane for Kyle Horseman, and he scores goal number 2 on the season and number 3 of his career. There you have it. The Colonials take Game 1 in thrilling fashion in the third, putting it away early in that final frame. 5 goals, 2 of them from Alex Tanj. Mantenuto adds 1 and an assist, and Marat did just enough to make sure that the Colonials got out of Dodge with a victory on night 1 of the quarterfinals. You see on the other side, Paul Barafato, one of the better goaltenders in the nation, roughed up. 21 saves on 27 attempts. He'll have a chance tonight to try and stand on his head once again against the Colonials offense that really broke out of its shell in a big, big way. That third period, Ian, with 7 combined goals, what did that show you from each of these teams, both the Crusaders and the Colonials?
Well, from what I noticed early in the game, both teams kind of weighing each other out, sitting back, seeing what they're going to bring. And for the Colonials, they attacked. In the third, they knew where to go. They knew how to. Barafato was going to make the saves. They knew where to get the offense, get those rebounds that he let up that they didn't get in. There would have been easy goals earlier in the game, and the Crusaders just let the Colonials walk all over them. They didn't. They said, hey, like to me it was like, hey, the Colonials are just gonna walk over us. Let's do it. And tonight, now they're down 1-0 because of that. They got to play their game. You can't let the Colonials dictate.
The Crusaders will fight for their playoff lives here tonight. A win by the Colonials sends Holy Cross packing home, and the Colonials packing to the semifinals. But a Crusaders win means that we'll be back here tomorrow night for a decisive Game 3. We'll get into Ian Kist's keys to the game and the puck drop between the Crusaders and Colonials on the other side of one more break here on the Colonial Sports Network. Are getting ready to take to the ice, and we are getting ready here for Game 2 of 3 between the Holy Cross Crusaders and the Robert Morris Colonials here on the Colonial Sports Network. Hello everyone once again, alongside our color commentator Ian Kist, I'm Vince Rousseau. The two of us have the privilege of bringing you some more college hockey action tonight in the Atlantic Hockey Conference. Robert Morris, as you saw on the other side of that break, won 6-3 last night and are looking to eliminate the Crusaders in a clean sweep tonight, although Holy Cross has some other thoughts about that. We saw the highlights before the break. Now we'll show you the statistical breakdown between these two teams. Colonials firing at a much higher clip offensively throughout both this season and the last 5 years. They've really started to carve themselves out as a juggernaut offensively in the conference. Their shooting percentage over 10% after last night's performance. Their power play ranks top in the conference. Again, a matchup to watch against Holy Cross's lowest ranked penalty kill in the conference. And as you see there at the bottom, this is the 4-5 matchup, so it is on paper supposed to be the most evenly touted matchup of this first round. Now before we get to puck drop, Ian, give us please your keys to the game for Robert Morris.
So for me, most importantly, stay disciplined. The Crusaders are going to try to get under the Colonial skin tonight. They got to keep their head on their shoulders. Crash the net when the Colonials did that in the third period. You saw the results, 5 goals compared to the 2 goals and then 7 goals when both teams kind of took it differently in the third. And then clear the crease. Morale was kind of blinded a little bit from the Crusaders who didn't have the puck. They had some wreaking havoc. So if the Colonials defense need to get them out, give their goaltender a better view.
We will quickly now turn it over to the PA announcer, Larry Snyder, who will take care of the pregame festivities, including the lineups and the anthem here on the Colonial Sports Network.
Now let's meet today's starting lineups. First, for Holy Cross on defense, a sophomore from White City, Saskatchewan, number 5, Spencer Trapp. On defense, a junior from Mendon, New Jersey, number 24, Tommy Miratori. At left wing, a sophomore from Calgary, Alberta, number 39, Mitch Collette. At right wing, a junior from Kelowna, British Columbia, number 37, Brett Mulcahy. At center, a junior from Havertown, Pennsylvania, number 23, Brian Farrell. And in goal for the Crusaders this evening, a junior from Williamsville, New York, number 36, Paul Barafato. The head coach for Holy Cross is David Berard. And now, here is the starting lineup for your RMU Colonials. On defense, a junior from Nobleton, Ontario, number 2, Alex Bunte. On defense, a senior from Oshawa, Ontario, number 6, your captain, Rob Mann. At left wing, a senior from Ottawa, Ontario, number 22, Ben Roulard. Right wing, a senior from Toronto, Ontario, number 26, Daniel Levins. At center, a junior from Louisville, Texas, number 12, Brady Ferguson. And in goal for your Colonials this evening, a freshman from Longueuil, Quebec, number 1, Francis Marat. Head coach for your RMU Colonials is Mr. Derek Schooley. The Atlantic Atlantic Hockey Conference.
And so we are just seconds away once again, and potentially for the last time this season here on the Colonial Sports Network, should the Colonials punch their ticket for the win tonight. Starting in net for the Colonials, Francis Marat, 15-7-3 rather on the season, a goal against average just north of 2, and a save percentage just north of 93, some of the best marks in the nation for the freshman. And on the other side, Paul Barafato, 14, 14, and 7. He started every game this season for the Crusaders, and tonight will be no different. A 2.79 goals against average, and his save percentage taking a bit of a hit last night after giving up a half a dozen goals. It'll be up to him tonight to try and keep Holy Cross in this game. Crusaders really came out and played quite well in the first period, Ian, and kind of dictated that pace of play. We'll see what sort of adjustments both they and the Colonials have made coming into tonight's game 2. Final minute ticking off of the clock, and the Colonials gathering at their bench for one last word along with Coach Derek Schooley. As we said, the Colonials looking for their 4th consecutive appearance in the AHC semifinals. Holy Cross trying to punch their ticket after being eliminated in 2 games in the quarterfinal last year against Army West Point. Some of the other series around Atlantic hockey this weekend: Canisius against Niagara tonight, Air Force takes on Bentley, and Army West Point against Mercyhurst. We'll keep you up to date with all of those scores as they roll in. Well, we have here a matchup between the 4 and the 5, with the 4 trying to eliminate the 5. It is the Holy Cross Crusaders and the Robert Morris Colonials. Bit of a false start there, and now we are underway.
Make some noise, Robert
Crusaders
Morris.
win the face-off.
Colonials time.
Colonials dominated the face-off circle last night. But it's the Crusaders who start with the puck on the offensive here. Game 2 on the Colonial Sports Network after the major penalty that disqualified Luke Lynch. Puck to the front of the net, covered up by Marat. And now Pooley gets pushed around. Cronella in on the action as well to try and separate things. Things dissipate rather quickly as Marat shuffles out of the net, and all seems to be well in the world once again. Take another look. Rob Mann with a big hit in front of the net. Playoff hockey, fighting for every inch. Take a look here at Cronella with the shot, and what a beautiful pad save by Marat. Lopez now mans the offense. He'll get it to Coughlin. A shot from the corner by Moore. That top power play unit out on the ice for Holy Cross. Again, it's Coughlin with the shot. That one's blocked before it gets to the net. Believe that was Gantus's skate that got in the way. Israel gets it back to Gantus, and the Colonials trying to play keep away. See if they can't get a clearance here. The Crusaders are swarming behind the net. Eventually it's lifted up to Ferguson. He'll slap shot this one into the glass on the end boards behind Barafato, and we come to a close. Holy Cross will have another 2.5 minutes on the power play when we return, but after one period, the Colonials able to keep the Crusaders off the board. It is Holy Cross 0, Robert Morris 0 here on the Colonial Sports Network and Stream Internet. We'll be back after an intermission break. Welcome back once again. Getting ready for the second period. Still no score on the board between the Holy Cross Crusaders and the Robert Morris Colonials here on the Colonial Sports Network and Stream Internet. First period is in the books between these two clubs. Things barely even all the way around. Holy Cross leading in shots 10-9. Both teams have blocked shots in front of the net. The Colonials doing a little bit of a job in that. And in kind of a flip-flop from last night in the face-off battle. Colonials dominated in the face-off dot last night. So far tonight, as you see, Crusaders with 17 of 22. And then the big one at the bottom. 5 penalties against Robert Morris. 21 penalty minutes opposed to just 2 for Holy Cross, with 15 of those penalty minutes coming from Luke Lynch, who got a 5 and a 10 on a big boarding call. He is ejected. Games around the conference in the quarterfinals. Canisius and Niagara, Air Force and Bentley play later. But Army and Mercyhurst have gotten things underway, and in the first period, through the first period, each team with 1 goal. And so that's where we stand around the league here. Still no score as we get ready for the second period. Ian, any thoughts before we get ready for another 20 minutes of action here?
Again, I guess I have an eye for this, but I've noticed that Barafato still letting up those rebounds. There's one glove that just completely came a couple feet away from him, and the Colonials just need to be there to get those in.
And we are ready to get underway. The face-off down and won by the Colonials. Farrell is defeated by Dorowitz in the draw circle. No score still here. We have a player down along the boards. Looks like we will have a penalty, this time against Holy Cross, a boarding call against Murator. As he laid out Levens, who is taking a few seconds to get up, but will skate to the bench now under his own power. Take another look. Watch Levens along the board. And so, 2 minutes in the box. Colonials will have a chance to try and untie this one. They are 0 for 1 on the power play thus far tonight. They'll have 2 minutes to try and put one past Barafato and a 5-on-4 advantage.
2 minutes for cross-checking the 7:14 of the second period. As Myron O'Torrey, 2 minutes for cross-checking.
So, Murator with the penalty.
Colonials
Boarding
on
call.
the power play.
Shot across the crease. That one goes wide. Rob Mann gets to it first. Spencer Dorowitz with the puck now. He sends it along for Mantenuto. Daniel Mantenuto able to circle away from Collett. Able to open up space. Gets it to Mann, who fans on it. Had a one-timer. A nice feed from Mantenuto. Now the Crusaders and Colonials will make adjustments here to their lines. In the top 3 forwards for the Colonials once again will come out, including Brady Ferguson, the number 8 scorer in the nation. Had a point last night in a victory. He has the puck now, fakes the shot, scans his options. He'll send it down to Tonge. Tonge trying to send it in the middle. Beautiful effort there by Spencer Trapp, laying out to block that shot, using the body, or that pass rather. Now it's Israel with the puck. He tries to send that one to the front of the net. That one again blocked by Trapp, doing a wonderful job here. Another one-timer and a score! Daniel Levens unties what was a stalemate here midway through the second. Daniel Levens with goal number 13, point number 45 on the season, and the Colonials lead. Daniel Levens backhanded the puck into the netting. Both teams are making changes, and now words are being spoken. Levens is hot-headed. Tempers are flaring. Finally, the officials get both teams to simmer down a little bit, and we'll resume play with just over 3.5 minutes left here in the second period. The Colonials hanging on to that 1-goal lead. Here they come looking for more. Tonge to Levens, and he gets it. Levens has a chance for a hat trick. Goal number 2. This time it's Tonge with the assist. And the lead is now a deuce. Daniel Levens.
Again, the beautiful passing to the senior, who's going to take advantage of that every time. And that's something that we saw early in the game, even last night. The Colonials not taking advantage of their patient passing, but tonight cashing in.
That is goal number 40 on the career of Levens. Take another look. A beautiful feed across.
Wide open net.
Barafato stood no chance. Tonge had to put that one right on the money, right between the legs of Patrick O'Leary, it appears. That one cycled down along the boards. Tonj gets it in front to Dagnall. Now that one's dancing around in front of the net. Dagnall has it once again. Dagnall, formerly of the Division I club team, was a call-up last season. Made a good impression and has remained on the roster since. Now it's Tonj. Tonj looks across, trying to feed it for Dagnall. And now a big hit along the boards, and that'll be a penalty. Colonials will head back to the power play as Bonjay is taken down from behind. Guilty culprit, number 37, Brett Mulcahy. And so Mulcahy will head to the box. It'll be a 2-minute minor, so the Colonials will spend the final 20 seconds of the second on the power play should they not score. And they'll have 1 minute and 40 seconds leading into the third and final, potentially final period of play, I should say, with a man advantage. Face off, come to the right, Barafato. Well, the Crusaders come up with the puck, but Levens is able to steal that one away. Sent to the front of the net, but no one was home. And now Israel and Levens will skate back to retrieve the puck from Marat. And again, the Crusaders get the puck, and now they'll lift this one down the length of the ice, and that will do it. Colonials will have 100 seconds on the power play when we return. But as it stands, 2 big goals by Daniel Levens, the senior, trying to will the Colonials back to Rochester for a 4th straight year. They're 20 minutes away from eliminating Holy Cross. The Crusaders trail the Colonials 2-0 after 2 periods of play. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after an intermission break here on the Colonial Sports Network and Stream Internet. What a finish we have in store here on the Colonial Sports Network. Thank you all for joining us. Ian Kist, Vince Russo. 2 minutes left. Holy Cross, Robert Morris, a clearance there by the Colonials. No icing, and so we remain with active play. Coughlin leads the offense forward, bounces it off the boards. Now Rob Mann has it, he flips it up. That one's grabbed out of the air by Spencer Trapp. Trapp gets to Coughlin, Coughlin to Lopez. Lopez able to get away from Levens. Levens in hot pursuit as it's with Farrell now. They'll get it back over across. They try and center it. That was Barrett. And now it's passed. It's Ferguson. Can he get the puck away? He has an opportunity. Pulls up, shoots, scores! Top shelf with 1 minute 20 left. It looks like the Colonials just might be headed to the next round. Coach Scully trying to get his team to settle down as Ferguson had some words and some gestures towards the Holy Cross bench. Take another look at the goal. Pulls up, waits for an avenue, tickles the twine, and the Colonials lead is back to 2 with 1 minute and 20 seconds left. See if any tempers flare here before the end, or can Holy Cross try and get a desperation goal here at the end to try and give themselves a chance. Now it's Tonj. They're trying to get Barafato back to the bench one more time.
Less than 1 minute remaining in the third period. Robert Moore's goal was scored by number 12.
Holy Cross is going to carry the puck down the ice. If they can get it into the Colonials' offensive end, Barafato will head to the bench one more time, but another clearance there will make things hard. Down to 40 seconds left. Colonials up by 2. They do get the puck in. Barafato heads to the bench. Extra attacker on. Colonials going to try and put one more on the board. Crinella with a shot, and they score! And they'll pull back within one with just over 20 seconds left. Partner, you can't script this kind of stuff, Ian. We're in for a wild third here. We saw a lot of offense last night. It was just 1-0 coming into here.
And the team's just putting more shots on goal right now, and that's what the problem was with the Crusaders all game. Not be able to get the clean shots off, but able to toy with Marat there and buckle up again.
And the face-off now huge as Barafato is still on the bench. Crusaders needed to win that draw. They do not. Man will play it along the boards. And now it's Ferguson. He grips it, rips it, misses the net. Still a 1-goal game. Crusaders with one last opportunity to rush. They fling it down the ice in desperation. It's Lopez. Now it's Coughlin, sends it to the front of the net. Levens has it. 3 seconds left. A mad dash for the puck behind the net, a hand pass, and they're gonna blow a whistle. No, this one might not be over. Now we have a brawl. Coughlin in the face of, I believe, Daniel Levens. We have a couple players ready to tango here. I don't think this one's over yet.
I think they blew the whistle right before the buzzer went off.
Here we go. 3 seconds left. Drop puck. Man has it, holds it along the boards. The clock runs out, and the Colonials will move on to the semifinals and to Rochester. It was a heart stopper, but
roller coaster ride.
They are headed onward. Robert Morris with a big, big win. And the Colonials head to New York with a 3-2 victory in thrilling fashion over the Holy Cross Crusaders. My, oh my, Ian, we can breathe now.
We can also make our arrangements to Rochester now. And like you said, a roller coaster ride, but the Colonials able to get nitty-gritty there at the end and kill off those 3 seconds.
A big, big win for the Colonials. The handshake line at the end of the series, you see it all the time in hockey. The mutual respect that teams have for each other in all levels of hockey. One of the great showings of sportsmanship in all of sports, and what was a very tightly contested series, physical-wise, a lot of penalties. And because of those penalties, the Colonials now in the semifinals, in that first, Final Four game, if they do advance, at least in that contest, they're not going to have Lynch. How big of an impact is that for the Colonials?
Well, like you pointed it out, it changes the lines. These teams play with each other. They switch the lines occasionally, but, they get that gel going. And now with that play, he's out, obviously. So it is kind of a selfish play, but I don't think you can really – it happened. You got to move on. You got to make the changes. The coaching staff will make what they think. They'll probably use the insight of the players on who works with each other, and you just got to move on.
Take a look at the final game stats. Colonials coming out on top. Though they were outshot, they were able to get some block shots in front of the net, came back, almost evened things up on the face-off dot after losing 17 of 25 in the first period. And those 7 penalties almost were enough to deter the Colonials. Even that delay of game by Levens at the end, they were able to overcome it, and they will punch their ticket to Rochester, where they will face either number 11 Niagara or number 1 Canisius.